Aloha, everyone. This is Dewi Maile Lim here with New Earth Sisterhood. And from the bottom of my heart, just so deeply grateful for you being here with me right now, whether you're live or on the replay, whatever time and space continuum we find each other in now. Just want to extend my heartfelt welcome to you. Some of you are new to my world and I'm new to yours. So just deep bow to you, sister, for trusting your own heart, that you felt inspired to come and join me for this today. I really appreciate you and I value your time and your energy and your presence here. So just again, so grateful you're here. I wanted to just share a little bit about what inspired this. Actually, before I start to share what inspired this impromptu pop-up, I'd love to just go over real quick how this is going to work. So we're going to all be muted throughout except for me while I present. And then I'm going to invite you all to use the chat. Like, feel free to use the chat as much as you'd like to process. I'm going to be typing in some questions there for you from time to time for journaling prompts. And we'll have a little bit of engagement up front, and then I'll go into presentation mode. We're going to do a guided journey. So that will be done. If you feel comfortable with your eyes closed, you can do that seated or lying down. And then after that piece, there'll be some more journaling. And during that meditation, we're going to connect with the Wildcard Essence within ourselves that's wanting to emerge. And that's really the intention of this time, that we get to know the parts of ourself maybe that have been hidden or unexplored, that even could delight and surprise you, no matter how seasoned you are in life, how much experience you've had. There's always an opportunity for more delight and surprise in our lives, and especially in this now moment with all that's going on our planet. To me, there's never been a more optimal time for drawing on the qualities of surprise and delight, and really to unlock. My intention for us today is to unlock parts of ourselves that we may not even have known that were there, and to allow ourselves to expand into what it means to have a wild card option, to unplug from all of the hats and the roles and the stories we may have had up until now in our life, and to really inquire within what would it be like for me, and for however many more days, moments I have left in this body, to even express and revel in energies that I may not have allowed myself to explore, for fear of whatever thinks, or because I didn't feel safe, so that all needs to be honored and loved, and we need to feel safe. And I want to create a space for us today that's really going to allow us to explore moving beyond that, having a quantum leap out of the story and the past and whatever has led us up to this now moment that may have been may have been censoring ourselves and this wild card energy, and move into more expansion and infinite possibility. And so the card we will create from after that experience, where I lead you through the journey to meet your Wildcard Essence, will capture the frequency, if you will, or the codes that come through from this energy that may be untapped within each of us. So at the end, I'll have some Q&A and we can share at the end. And I just want to run a few things by everyone here because not everyone knows me. And again, we may be new to each other's world. So I would love to just give a few disclaimers about the way I work. So you can just feel into like whether that's okay for you to play in this space or not. And if you do feel like this isn't the place for you at any time, like no offense taken, you can just leave. Or, you know, one thing I like to offer everyone in my space is like take what lands and resonates and leave the rest. And so I value everyone's personal sovereignty, and I just want to, I know my whole role in this life is to empower others to remember their guru within and to connect with their own deep well of wonder and wisdom. And so I just want to respect everyone's, choice. And this is the way I work. So when I do these kinds of experiences, sometimes I can get a little shamanic. And I always work with energies that are really healed and beneficial. And I choose to align with source energy from divine creator. And so those are the frequencies that I like to call in and work with and commune with in my work. And then sometimes I also can swear or get a little excited and say like a lot. And so, if you're cool with me just like fully expressing myself with no censoring here, I invite you to do the same. And as long as we're coming from a respectful and loving heart, then, you are welcome in this space. And again, I just would love that grace as well. So if you're okay with that, then we can proceed. So make sure you have your materials nearby. I mentioned this earlier, but it wasn't on the recording. Whatever paper you're working with to create your deck, I already have a pre-made deck, and I do have a workshop called You Oracle that everyone can have access to if you'd like, if you don't already have access to it, where we go really in depth to creating a handmade oracle deck. So if you haven't done that before, let me know if you'd like that access to that. So what I'm doing is the deck that I created in that experience, I'm creating an additional card today to add it in. So it's going to serve as being like a wild card within the deck. So I happen to have a blank piece remaining that I was using as like one of the covers for the deck. So that's what I'm going to work with today. So whatever you have will do. But if you want to have it be like conformed to your other deck that you already have going, then you can get your piece of paper for that. I'm going to use markers today and some paint pens. So have your materials that you're using nearby. Also have a Sharpie marker or some kind of like permanent marker that has a finer tip. And that's going to come in handy for when we write on the cards after we decorate them. And a sketchbook. Okay. All right, so I would love to go around and hear in the comments what inspired you to join Wildcard Woman today. Why are you here? And if someone really feels like they want to speak it into the space, feel free, but you can just type it in if that feels good as well. Just would love to hear, and I'll read your responses off too. So everyone on the replay can also receive whatever you have to share.
I'll share. So I have the cards that we made with your Oracle class, or it was like ceremony when we did that. And they've been so useful. Like I peek at them every so often and I'm like, this is amazing. So I'm excited to add a wild card. It feels like, I'm a little kid and there's like a game I haven't played in a long time and there's like a new piece. So I'm super excited.
Yay, thank you. Anyone else want to share? We have Cindy said, I'm an avid Oracle card creator and I appreciate communal space and energy for creating and seeing new people. Yay. Happy to meet you. Yes, I've seen a little bit of Cindy's art and it's gorgeous from what I've seen so far. Wonderful. Anyone else feel inspired to share in the comments or speak into the space? Okay, well, feel free to type in if you'd like at any point. So I like words. I like playing with words. I like looking into etymology. I like to my online place, my go-to place online for looking up words is thefreedictionary.com. I feel like thefreedictionary.com has the best, something about it is just like the best place online to go for me that I've found. Let me know if you have another place you'd like to look up words online, because I would love to check it out. But thefreedictionary.com, I went there to look up the word wildcard, and it, you know how definitions can have several different ways of describing the word. So I'm going to read them off to you. The first is games, a playing card whose value can vary as determined by its holder. A playing card whose value can vary as determined by its holder. Number two, with the context of sports, an athlete or team selected to compete in a tournament or playoff from among those who did not qualify by meeting the regular requirements. There's also definition 3 for related to context of computers, a symbol that stands for one or more unspecified characters used especially in searching text and in selecting multiple files or directories. And then 4 is a slang definition, an unpredictable or unforeseeable factor. So I just want to kind of sit with these definitions for a moment and give my commentary on them. So a playing card whose value can vary as determined by its holder. So right now on the planet, there's all kinds of craziness happening, right? I mean, to me, I guess uncertainty has always been present in any of the moments of my lifetime that I reflect on. Like nothing was ever for certain. There's something about this now moment, though, that feels especially ripe with uncertainty. And it's definitely, to me, my perspective is we're all on this awakening path. And as we birth into a new way of being, Barbara Marx Hubbard called it the homo luminous, that we're actually evolving into a new species. She called it homo luminous. And so the human of light, the light embodied human. And so as we're going through the birthing canal, there can be contractions, there can be messiness, there's chaos, there's uncertainty. Even if a woman has planned to birth her child and, you know, got her midwife and got her doulas, and, you know, something could happen in the home birth and she may have to go to the hospital. We never know what's going to happen along the way. And so when we can look at the energy and the frequencies of what's happening as this wild card energy, what if we could meet this wild card energy and uncertainty of the moment with our own, to draw from a well of wonder of like, you know what, like shit's going to hell in a handbasket, or maybe this is like, you know, the calm before the storm before the calm. Who knows what's happened? But what if I could just embrace the juiciness of like this disillusion of whatever's happening on the planet, and just draw from a well of like, I can have my own wild card factor energy. I can bring myself to the game, if we're going to use the game analogy, in a whole new way with a wild card energy. That's something I've never even allowed myself to express before, or even imagine myself being. And why not? You know, why not go for the gusto with all we have in this life. Like, we have nothing to lose at this point, you know, we have nothing to lose. So I really wanted to weave this element in and consider ourselves as each players on the game of life, and that we can, in a very empowered way, choose which energy we're bringing to the table. And by consciously choosing that, we actually are activating our power in a whole new way. And that's the beauty of archetypes, right? When we look to like Joseph Campbell's work, or any of the mythologies from forever ago, you know, like epic movies like Star Wars or The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, you know, there's these, the heroine's journey, thinking of ourselves as the heroines of our own journey as well, and like being conscious creators along this timeline, however much longer we have in this life, in this one precious life that we are expressing right now. So I like this part about the athlete or team selected to compete in a tournament or playoff from among those who did not qualify by meeting the regular requirements. Okay, who is the one who got to decide what the regular requirements were in the first place? You know, and why do we have to play along with those? We are seeing a whole unraveling of what I like to call, some people call it the patriarchy, some people call it the dominator culture. I like to call it the age of separation, where there were the haves and the have-nots, and those with the knowledge and those that didn't have, and this whole hierarchical way of being and pitting us against them, and this whole illusory game of separation. Well, we don't have to play by those rules anymore. They're crumbling. That way of being is no longer relevant or needed, in my opinion. And so it doesn't matter if you didn't qualify in whatever fill in the blank situation in your life before today. It doesn't matter if you didn't make the mark. It doesn't matter what your past story is. When you draw from this your well of wonder, anything's possible. You can shapeshift. And so it's that shape-shifting energy of the wild card that I want to invite us to embody and play with. And then computers, a symbol that stands for one or more unspecified characters, usually used especially in searching text. So thinking of this iconography and symbolism that comes with archetypes, with different mythological types of storylines. What are the symbols that you can stand for, the characteristics, if you will, that you would like to embody more of? Like sometimes people will create an alter ego or another persona, so that they can have a container for which to explore these different characters, you know, so that can happen with the wildcard energy. And then finally, slang, in the definition, an unpredictable or unforeseeable factor. This can be really powerful when you see yourself in a situation acting something out completely off character that you've never done before. And it can just be liberating. Like, this is a crazy example, but my former partner used to help people kind of break through some of their own inner limitations by imagining yourself running down the street completely buck naked, wielding machetes in your hand, just like slicing through the air. Like some crazy off the wall thing that you probably never would actually do. But when we allow ourselves to see ourselves in a completely absurd type of scenario unfolding, it can kind of liberate us and kind of unlock this energy of like, yeah, I could actually do that. I don't think I ever would, but there can be this liberation that happens when we allow ourselves to just think about like, hey, what if I, you know, went to Washington, D.C. and just started a peace vigil, and like 2 million people started coming, like, and I became this leader of this whole peace movement. I mean, just letting yourself go down the line of energy to like the maximum expression of what could happen if you would allow yourself more of this wild card energy. How can you be more unpredictable and in your own favor? So that's some of my inspiration around this wild card energy. Okay. So I'm checking in on the chats, and then we're going to take a moment after this to go into our journey to connect with our wildcard essence. Skyra's here for connection, creativity, and fun. Tracy's grateful to be here. Another sister we know lost her father. She's desiring to hold space while she creates. Would love to create and hold space at the same time. Yes, please do. Yeah, sending light to all of those who are moving through transition and profound, tender-hearted moments. So just sending love to our sister. Okay, I'm going to invite us now, and please feel free to jot any comments down about what may be landing with you so far. And then we can share them after our journey. Okay, so I'm going to invite us now to just take a moment to get quiet. You can use the grounding quality of the breath to calm your nervous system now, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling, allowing the belly to expand, and exhaling with an audible sigh. Inhaling again through the nose and exhaling. So I invite you to close your eyes if you haven't already, if you're able to do that and it feels good. And I simply want to invite you to take on the role of the loving, neutral observer and have an experience of yourself, observing yourself from this vantage point. It may be helpful to kind of take a bird's eye view, maybe peeking into the room you're in, seeing yourself sitting there. It's almost like this meta experience of yourself, observing yourself. As much as you're able to, just allow a sense of compassion and love, openness, gratitude for yourself, for giving yourself this experience, to be present here now. Continuing to breathe deeply throughout this entire experience. I'm going to invite you to consider the hats, the many roles, the responsibilities that you have taken on throughout this entire life up until now. What hats have you worn over this lifetime? What roles have you chosen from an empowered place, consciously choosing? It could be around your career path. It could be around any schooling or investments you've made in yourself. Could be with family. And then also, what roles did you feel like you didn't have a choice with? Maybe on some level you were coerced or forced into taking on a role that you didn't feel 100% empowered by. And maybe there's still some residual density around those choices. Or maybe there's a way that you have found yourself empowered years later, simply by choosing a new perspective and story around those roles. I'm just trusting whatever comes is perfect. I'm going to now invite you to feel into these archetypes. I'm going to list a bunch of different roles that you may or may not resonate with, titles, if you will, that we as women may have expressed or embodied at certain points in our lives, consciously or unconsciously. So continuing to breathe deeply, just allowing yourself to feel into your experience, releasing any need to judge or control the situation as long as you're feeling safe in your body. Consider the role of mother in your life. Consider the role of priestess. Consider the role of leader. Feel into the leader you have been. Consider the role of coach or guide or mentor. Consider the role of artist or muse, creatrix. Now I invite you to consider the role of daughter, of sister, breathing in, continuing to feel through these considerations. Next, I invite you to consider enchantress, seductress, prophetess, any of those roles. Magician, witch, shaman. And now, consider the role of martyr, saint, or victim. Consider the role of perpetuator, alchemist, mystic, or sage. I invite you now to consider the role of maiden, of crone, consider the role of heroine, antagonist, protagonist. Consider the role of worker, cog. Consider the role now of luminary, of linchpin. And now I invite you to consider the role of icon. Allowing whatever came forward with these considerations to settle back into your field. You notice yourself sitting there again, feeling compassion for any of the times you may have been unconsciously fulfilling a role, feeling compassion for the times where maybe you were out of balance in any role you took on. And also celebrating yourselves for all of the roles where you were empowered and where you reached a new level in your full self-expression by taking on maybe something that felt courageous or dangerous to do even. And you did it anyway. Now I'm going to invite you to feel into your heart. As you feel into your heart, you also feel the presence of a pristine feminine energy here with you now. Just breathe into it. There's no right or wrong experience. We're now meeting our wildcard woman. She's here. She is this untamed energy within each of us. She's unapologetic and she's unafraid. You may have drawn on her before in a moment of fierceness or necessity. Maybe you really wanted something, like with all of your heart. You just had such a desire for something and it called you forth in a way that you hadn't expressed yourself before to go and get it. She may even have this quality of relaxation, knowing that it is your birthright, and kind of this of course energy. Of course I can energy. Why not? Why can't I? I can, and I will, and I am. She's confident. She's courageous. And she's calling you forward now. She has a message for you. She's here to transmit and amplify the values and traits that you are here to embody in this time of awakening. So what's here for you now? What qualities, values, traits does she want to impart to you now? Just breathing them in. It could be a frequency, it could be an energetic, could be colors, imagery, words, sounds. Just sense what you can. What's here for you? So I'm going to invite us just to take a few more deep breaths now. We're going to slowly come back. Just a moment now, though, to just thank you and bow. Give your wildcard woman a bow. That aspect of yourself, all aspects of yourself, your entirety of your entire experience in this human form, the divine and the desolate, the groveling and the receptive, whatever came forward for you, all of it is welcome. All of it is acceptable. All of it is perfectly fine. Bowing to yourself now, feeling your hand in your heart, maybe on your womb if that feels good. Starting to wiggle your hands and your fingers. Invite you to come back into the space when you're ready. Shane earlier said she gets inspired but absurd. Yeah, there can be some freedom in allowing ourselves to go there, even if it's just in our own imaginations. Does anyone feel inspired to share in the comments what came up for them? We can do some journaling too now. So here are some prompts for us. So my invitation with that experience that we just went through is for you to open up to this iconic energy within yourself that may be unexpressed previously, or maybe you've caught glimpses of her, or maybe in like a shamanic journey, or a medicine journey if you've done anything like that, or a moment of creative bliss and full liberation and dance, or when you were feeling fully self-expressed, maybe she came through. That kind of energy is what is really going to allow us to persevere through this time of awakening, drawing from that well of wonder. So here is a prompt for you. And you can journal about this, or pop off mute, or type in the comments. What unpredictable or unforeseeable factor about yourself have you not been considering, or have you been shying away from? And we're not going to get into why we might have been shying away from it. We'll just presence what it is. So I'll say it again. What unpredictable or unforeseeable factor about yourself have you not been considering, or have you been shying away from? And then here's a follow-up question and an invitation. I want to ask you, sister, are you open to becoming iconic? What does that look like for you? So I'm just going to shake my rattle because I feel like shaking up the energy real quick. So here we go. You want to shake your body out. Rattle to kind of shake up any density. I know you don't like that, Liko. My dog got concerned. I'm gonna light some Palo Santo just to bring in the sweetness of spirit now. So does anyone feel inspired to share their prompt? I would love to just receive what came forward, what's come forward so far. Feel free to receive some of the smoke from this Palo Santo as well, if that feels good to you. How are you sisters feeling? What's coming up? Okay. Welcome any shares as you all are inspired. So now we're going to shift into creating and designing our oracle card. So based on what's come up for you so far, we're going to catalyze and capture the energy of what your wildcard essence wanted you to know. And so I'll show you my deck. So in some Native American traditions, oftentimes people will receive a name, a secondary name, perhaps that describes energetic or frequency that the elders have decided that she embodies. And so considering that type of naming sequence, it usually is something like she who dances with wolves, or she who runs with the wind, or she who fill in the blank. I'm going to invite you to consider the qualities of your wildcard essence and try it on for size, see how it feels to put a title in front of it, to title this energy with she who fill in the blank. So you can kind of wordsmith around this, but it's basically she who is, and you could add some adjectives and verbs. So I've had some that I've created before from my other deck. So she who is centered in her heart. She who listens and stays true to herself. She who is whole, perfect, and complete. She who thrives. So this is an example of how you could potentially capture the essence of your wildcard energy. You could also create a title for her, goddess of fill in the blank, or just give her a singular word, a descriptive of that energy and frequency. So I'll give you another example here. So I have an oracle deck called Earth Warriors, and this deck is by Alana Fairchild. And so each of the archetypes is a different goddess or energetic. So this one is goddess of Teotihuacan. And at the bottom it says, she who guards the waters of life. So you could also do this kind of a titling process where it's like she has a name and then she has a subheading that describes kind of a descriptor about her frequency, her message. So you're tapping into that energetic now, that of this wild card persona, and you're giving her a name. That's the invitation right now. And this is going to go on, for now, you can just note it in your journal. And then we're gonna go ahead and, based on that frequency and energetic and the title that she's giving you, decorate one side of your card and use whatever colors feel inspired. But basically, this is like wildcard art party time. So Tracy's sharing, the beauty and strength of the wise woman in my vision is peaceful, their frequency magical, a frog or toad, colors tranquil, she who sits calmly in serenity and dances through the oracle of life. So based on that, Tracy, feel into whether there's a symbol, colors, shapes, anything that you could draw onto your card and your page to decorate it. So we're going to leave one, if you are ready to start coloring, we're going to leave one side just with the imagery, and then we're going to create a border around the other side of the card and then write in the message. This would be equivalent to what we're like when you look in an oracle book and there's the description of the card. This is what's going to go there. Okay, so you can create a border around your card. And again, these are just all suggestions. I know a lot of you are artists, so these are suggestions, creatrix choice, I like to say. I'm really going to just leave you all to like decide how you want to render your card, because it is a wild card. So my wild card is probably going to look different from yours. But the idea is to create a border to house the wisdom of your wildcard essence. And then on the other side, you can give her a title, she who fill in the blank, or the name that represents the symbol that represents the energy of her frequency on the other side. So I'll give us some space to create now. I'll play a little bit of music. Beautiful. So I would love to open it up for anyone sharing, if anyone feels inspired, and I can go first. I have more to do. But I got she who is a total badass creatrix. So I'm filling in my letters still. I really like hand lettering. So I'm going to continue to journal. And Shane, thank you for asking the question about the prompt for the other side of the card. So if you needed one, it's my wild card woman wants me to know this. It's like her transmission for you. The idea here is to, when you're working with your oracle cards, or maybe you just work with this one card for a while, you know, there's no rules to say that you must include this as part of another deck. It could just be an iconic reminder for you to draw from and to source inspiration from. Whenever you feel like you could use some wild card magic in your life, and really to draw from that well of wonder, of this energetic frequency that maybe you haven't tapped into before, especially as we navigate these times, right? So yeah, does anyone feel like they're willing to share?
I'll share. Okay, so this is it's like the back of, I don't know if you could see, it's just wild hair from the back. And it's Enchantress Shane, she who plays full out. And the writing, I didn't, as soon as they asked the question, it just came through. So it was just great. I am a wild and unique, fabulous visionary. My ideas come to me fast and furious. They can appear to be a secret. They are meant to be shared when I am invited, or I am invited. Yeah.
Yay. Aho. Love it.
Yeah, me too. And it's so pretty. Little, I made like, I don't know what I did, little birdies. I don't know if you could see through. Anyway. All my other cards are like written across, and then this one is wild. It's up and down.
Yay. Way to switch it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. It's nice to have you on too, because you did the original workshop. So
yeah. No, yeah.
Yay. Thanks, Shane. Anyone else feel inspired?
Well, I'll share what I've got so far. I actually had one background that was already in process that I had forgotten about, and I've really been working with the theme of courage lately. So I have a courage card. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's the front. So it just says courage, speaking your truth, be brave, love hard. And then this is actually a boat from inspired by that quote of, you know, you have to leave the shore in order to see something new. You have to have the courage to leave the shore. And then the back side is just a lot of words from different quotes that I had pulled out for courage. And I doubt that you can even see that much, but it just says courage is a heart word. So tiny I can't see it. To speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. Own your story. And then the one who showed up is she who shows up and allows herself to be seen. So I'm just working on visibility these days.
Well done. Yay.
I appreciate
You are working on it and you are doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cindy. I love your card. It's gorgeous.
Thank you for holding this space.
Oh my gosh, my absolute pleasure. Anyone else feel inspired to share? I want to see. Okay, so I want to, Skyra, were you going to share? Or no? Okay. I saw your hand move. I think you were reaching for something. Okay, well, I want to invite you all to continue to dance with me in my field. And I have all kinds of different things that I do. Some of you know about this and some of you don't. So I have a group here, on Facebook called New Earth Sisterhood. And once a month, we do a sister circle gathering. So we have one coming up on Monday, the 21st, which is the day after the equinox, or it's the equinox. I sometimes forget if it's the equinox or solstice. It's the equinox. So it's the day after the equinox at 8 a.m. Hawaii time, 11 a.m. Pacific. And during these once a month gatherings, I love to feature another sister who feels inspired to share some of her wisdom. Really, the vision of New Earth Sisterhood is women coming together who are considering themselves change agents of some kind, who are part of this awakening and this birthing process that humanity is going through, and want to be in community with other sisters who feel inspired by being an active co-creator at this time. And so I love featuring other women. I love collaborating with other women. So if you ever would like to be a featured guest on the session, what that entails is a 15-minute segment that you would lead a process. And so this month, our sister is Joanna Lynn Steffel, and she is a part of also my paid membership group, which is called Sovereign Creatrix. And so she's going to be leading us through a process of really balancing energies. She's a evolutionary astrologer, so she'll probably be weaving in something as well about the current cosmic times we're finding ourselves in, knowing her. And then that usually goes for about 90 minutes. And everyone's voice is welcome to be shared on those calls. You don't have to, but really, like Cindy was mentioning about visibility, like now is the time to gather in sisterhood, to really allow ourselves to be witnessed in whatever we're going through. I'm so happy, Tracy, that you mentioned, what was on your heart earlier when you mentioned what was going on for you. And that is the essence of this sisterhood, is to be seen and witnessed and heard, and also to be noticed and recognized for your vision of how you are, the work you're doing in the world, the play you're doing in your world that is about advancing humanity's awakening in whatever way you choose to express that. So you can promote your offerings in the group. You can go live whenever you like in the group. You can use that group as a way to connect with other potential people to join your communities if you have one, as well as promote your offerings in there. So it's a mix of kind of information coming through based on who feels inspired to share in the group itself. And then we also have the sister circle, that's a complementary aspect of what we do. And then the Sovereign Creatrix membership, I have a special going just for women who have joined this event today. So I will send a follow-up email with more information about that, so you can fill into that offer, because I want to honor everybody's time, and we're pretty much at the top of the time here. But that group is a lifetime membership program. where you pay either a lump sum or you can do monthly payments if that works better for your budget. Really, that container is for women who are really specifically choosing to practice their own, to harness actually their own creative power, specifically into an offering or some kind of project and state of being that is about birthing humanity's awakening. So it starts with within. We do creative ceremony every month. We have a creatrix mind that meets once a month, which is a cross between a sister circle and a mastermind. We also do, we're going to be making starting this month, this coming month, we're going to be making an oracle card a month based on the theme that we choose each month, which is always around sovereignty. So this month is Sovereign Bliss is our theme. And last month it was Sovereign Temple. And then finally, we do a Luminary masterclass every month where I interview different guest experts who are versed in sovereignty through their own heroine's journey, and they're empowering women in their own communities in their own ways to practice sovereignty in their own world. And to me, what sovereignty means is just the ability to, in the eye of the storm, exercise your own inner source of knowing, to become the guru of your own life experience, and to be able to act accordingly in a way that is untouched by what might be going on outside, not denying it at all, but really feeling empowered to act and be proactive in our lives so we can really serve others in the best way possible. Based on whatever feels inspired, in an inspired way for you. So I'll let you know more about how you can join us in the follow-up email for both or either of those offers. And I just want to thank you so much for your time, sisters. I'm going to put us on gallery view. Not everyone's on camera, but I just wanted to, to share my heart. I just love being in community with other women. And I pray that this experience was insightful for you and helpful in some way and inspiring. And feel free to, if you do join if you do join my New Earth Sisterhood group, I would love to have everyone share their cards as well, their wild cards. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming on. Anyone have any last minute alohas to share, or any last minute things you want to share? You're welcome to come off mute if you'd like.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Cindy. Would love to connect further. Thanks for coming today.
I'll look into all of your offerings. Yes.
Okay, I look forward to looking into yours too.
Okay.
Thank you all. Have a good night. Aloha, Tina. Thank you for coming, sister. Thank you, Shane. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Much love, darling. Chloe, thank you. Thank you, Skyra. Good to see you, sis. Ooh, I like your sign in the back. Bye, Chloe. Oh, I can't hear you. Bye, Chloe. Aloha. Be well.